Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Former Georgia Congressman Ben Jones said this a couple of years ago, quote, "You don't think I have culture just because I'm from Georgia? Well, believe me, we've got culture here. We've always had sushi. We just used to call it bait." Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Call in. Gonna be a nice day and a great weekend. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, thank you very much, Kate Smith. And, of course, good morning to you. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Great big spring tire sale going on right now. Stop in any of the 7 locations. And also, we'd like to thank some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Now, we go right to the phone line and listen to our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
You're not on the phone line.
No, but I figured I'd go the extra mile and get on the microphone.
Oh, my goodness, the extra mile. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Wheels. All right, let's get right to our weather forecast, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door. All your carpet and flooring, kitchen construction, home decor items, whatever you need to make your house a home. And Whitney sent this little note, cork. Yeah, like, you used to go fishing. Cork is coming in. You can use it minimal as a board to pin notes on in your home, kind of a command center. And so cork is now coming back for the decor of your home. I'm telling you, she is sharp. Kylan Whitney at Whitney. Can I say that again? Bit my tongue twice. Kyle and Whitney at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Nice people, and they're paying for this one this morning. Anyway, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door or give them a call at 678-6945. And now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we do get closer to the weekend, and I know everybody's getting tired of me saying this, but the flood warning has been extended through today, and more than likely will be extended through this weekend. We still have a lot of snow out in the northern parts of the county, especially Minidoka and Lincoln counties, and with the temperature rising, we've got more snow melting. Here's what we've got for today. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 57. Tonight, cloudy and 42. Tomorrow, cloudy and 56. Partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 32. Saturday, partly cloudy, 58. And looks like partly cloudy and 61 for Sunday. That is your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch.
I appreciate it, Gene. I love that forecast. Up in the 60s. Oh, my goodness sakes. Let's go to the beach. Anyway, the weather brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for that blue door or give them a call at 678-6945. Merv May, come on in here.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31.
Oh, that is the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade Rocky, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Sale time today is at 10:30. Don't you miss it. Now, I want you to pay attention to this lineup of the consignments. Very important, because I've got an addition and a change in the order, and I'm going to explain why in a few minutes. We don't want to say that Tim Corney over to Buell is bringing in 60 head of calvy cows. McCade Peterson Oakley, 15 head of older pairs, cows and calves. John Shoresman over to Sublet. Hello, John. 120 head of yearlings. And Bruce Holt over to Gooding. Well, there you go. 54 head of yearlings. Jay Hutchison of Rupert. Hello, Jay. 50 head of yearlings. And Kenny War out to Grouse Creek, out in the boonies. I'll tell you what, raise good cattle out there. 50 head of yearlings. Dan Bywater and Monty Ignac of Rupert, they've teamed up and they're bringing in 29 head of mixed Holstein steers and heifers. And Bob Telford over to Dietrich, bringing in 43 head of yearling steers. Now, listen closely. At about 1 or 1:30 this afternoon, during the sale, they are going to start bringing in those 160 head of stock cows. These are really good choice stock cows, various ages, one iron, and they're going to sell those from Tom Peck up at Cary at about 1 to 1:30 this afternoon. So there you go, guys. 160 head of ripping good stock cows going to go through the ring from Tom Peck up at Cary between 1 and 1:30. All of this and more at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. For information, give them a call at 678-9411, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The sale that works for you. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, and I sell them $1.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a ripping good sale today. I tell you, I talked to Merv last night. Woo, he knows he's got his work cut out today. Lots and lots of good cattle going through. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In some of the quick shots in the news this morning, today, if you're concerned about what today is on a national level, it is National Meatball Day. You know, growing up, Mom would make those German meatballs, and I didn't like them at all. And now, it's funny how we change. Now I can remember the taste, and I'm craving them. National Meatball Day today. In serious quick shots, North Korea, like a big fat toad, puffing out and saying what they're going to do. They are testing missiles, and we, the United States, all of us, our government, our leadership, should pay great heed to what these people are doing over there. They are testing missiles that can and will reach our West Coast and very possibly us here. Very, very dangerous. Congress stayed up all night last night till 4 o'clock in the morning, and they are saying they're tuning the fine points of health care bill. But I say, whoa, slow down, boys. Take a pill, chill, sit in your seats, and let's make sure this thing is done right. And last but not least, big weather changes. You heard Gina a few moments ago. We're looking at this weekend. We might hit 60 degrees or better. So those are some quick shots today to our news. Calls are welcome. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday for all your heating and cooling and electrical needs. The knowledge that they have, they're well over 50 years in business serving you. Stop in. See them today, as I said, 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, where they provide all your heating and cooling needs. Warm winters, cool summers. Ramsey Heating and Electric. Now, I have mentioned that we are going to be over at Denny's come heck or high water next week on Thursday the 16th for Lunch Bunch. I am not going to miss another Lunch Bunch. If we have to, we'll rent a boat and float over there. I just think it's so important we get back in the groove of things. So nice. The people are just fantastic. They've been very patient. But I want to remind everybody, Lunch Bunch next Thursday the 16th at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner at 611 Overland in Burley. And phone ringing, can't take it right now. Sorry about that. And 611 Overland in Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. The very best of all the different kinds of pancake breakfasts and those sizzling skillets. Oh, they are good. Stop in today. Treat yourself. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. And again, our thanks to some of our sponsors for the Lunch Bunch next week, Smith's Food, Handsome Mortuary, and Stokes for providing our gift certificate giveaways. Thank you very much. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I do not know, and I've never professed to have the knowledge that some people have regarding cybersecurity and what can and can't be done on an iPhone, what can and can't be done on a computer. I don't like that kind of thing. I do not like to sit down. I do not like to mull over some little tablet or computer or iPhone. I just am not into that. I've always said if you can't saddle it and rope it, what good is it? But anyhow, I am very, very concerned in all seriousness about a story that's going on right now that is very Orwellian and truthful to the fact that it's already happened. What am I talking about? Well, with all these leaks and the WikiLeaks of the 9,000 different pages of holy smokes, so-and-so was spying on so-and-so, and so-and-so did this to get the information, and so-and-so organization or group was doing this to this person or this group. Wow. I listened to the television this morning, and did you know that some geeky little pervert working for a agency like the NSA or whatever, they can and very possibly have been watching and listening to you. And I'm surprised about how advanced, if you will, they can do these things. They can actually watch you in your home even if your television set is off. I don't know how. Don't call me and say, well, how can they do that, Zebber? I don't know. I don't want to know. All I know is that it's very, very disconcerting for us as private citizens and in the privacy of our home that they can actually watch us and follow us in our homes with a turned-off television set. And then as far as the iPhones are concerned, if you've made a call, you've hung up the phone, so you think, these little geeky perverts, can still listen to your conversations that you're having after you hung up your phone with your iPhone in your pocket. Big Brother, right now, knows and sees and hears everything. How comfortable are you knowing that? Give me a call and let me. Are you going to say, well, it's no big deal. I guess if you're not doing or saying anything wrong, who cares? Or are you going to be like me? We've lost our privacy. We have lost, in many respects, our dignity. And I'm trying to figure out all the different ways where I can, I want to say this halfway polite, wave the fickle finger of fate at them and let them know what I think of them. Your calls, please. Come on, give me a call. I'm going to break the ice here a little bit. The first person that calls me this morning, the very first one to discuss these topics, I am going to give a Denny's America's Diner gift card to. Holy cow. First one that calls, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What do you think about that? I'll do some commercials and be right with you. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental. 3 locations, South Lincoln and Jerome, Addison Avenue, West Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They have all the equipment to get the job done right. And they kind of hit it right on the nose about 10 days ago when they started advertising for the Walker mowers, saying 0% interest for 48 months. They said, think spring! Well, hopefully they're right. And with this weekend forecast, I think they are. Anyway, don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental. The best of equipment rentals, retail equipment sales with the people that know. Sales, service, and parts on equipment. Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. I'm amazed. I said I would give you a gift. I would give you a I don't know how much it's worth. To be honest, I thought it was $10, so I'm not sure. Denny's gift card. And the first person that calls in this morning, and everybody's going, I'm a little sleepy right now. Oh, come on. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I have no idea why these people are calling me now because I can't take the call on my cell phone. Cell phone's not good, but caller, I am going to be right there with you. Stand by. Do not forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Nick Greenwell, you old stump dodger, how are you? Physical therapist extraordinaire, as are all the physical therapists there. Don't forget great mixes of exercises and sports medicine, hydrotherapy pool, everybody trying to help you get back to being you. 678-1191, 678-1191, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley, serving you. Caller, what is your name?
My name is Jeff Daly.
Jeff Daly. Where are you from, Jeff?
From Albion.
Well, by golly, you were one of the only ones to get up off the couch and go call. I'm going to send you what address? I don't want you to give your address over the phone. Can you call me after the program at 11, and I'll mail it up to you?
All right, sounds good.
Hey, I'm not going to let you off the hook that easy. You got to perform like a trained elephant on my program. What do you think of some of the stories, like one in particular? Congress trying to rush through a transition health care program and repeal Obamacare. What are your thoughts?
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think they've changed anything. I don't know. I think they're shirking their responsibility like they've been doing all along.
When you say shirking responsibility, what do you want them to do? How do you want this situation treated?
Well, honestly, I prefer if they just switched and went back to a free market system. Said the heck with the whole stupid forcing people to get insurance and all that crap. They need to just let people live their lives and be free Americans like we're supposed to be.
You know, and right there, Jeff, I think you and I are pretty much on the same page. I know there are Americans that don't have coverage, but you know something? In all aspects, you and I cannot be our brother's keeper. We cannot always supply them all the food. We cannot always supply them all the medical care. We cannot always supply them their housing. We cannot always supply all their daily needs. I'm sick of it. The milk of human kindness has got to stop someplace, and we've got to think about shoring up our country and our resources, and you and I need to take stock of our own billfolds.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Jeff, I'll tell you what. I'm going to send you your gift card. You passed the test, and I'll get it up to you. Call me after the program. I'll get your address, and we'll send it to you.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
He won the Denny's gift card. He broke the ice and called in. So give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ah, now they're coming in. I love this free flow. All right, here we go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, the gentleman you just interviewed from Albion, he says, we need to be free Americans like we're supposed to be. You see, this is the thing. I don't know how old he is, but I got to assume he's close to my age or something. And, but you see, when that's what he believes, you know, that's his instinct. And you think about what's happened in our schools and what our children knew or know, and how much have we taught them ourselves, as opposed to has it overridden what they learned in school? You see, what is my instinct? Is it to be a free American and do what I want, or is it to be dependent?
Well, wait a minute, Randy, stop for a second. You know, you've worked hard, and I don't know your whole history or background, but I'm assuming that when you took the responsibility to have a family and go out in the world and get a job, that responsibility also entailed that you're going to pay your bills, you're going to get your own health care, you're going to get a telephone and pay that bill, etc. My point that I made a few moments ago, and I think you're going to agree with me, I know that with the original inception of Obamacare, they were saying, well, there's over 30 million people that are uninsured. You know something, Randy? That's not your fault. It's not my fault. Why should the burden of paying literally for their health care fall on our shoulders?
Well, it should. And now understand this about it. You know how many people had insurance that was disrupted, changed, raised? They lost their doctors. They lost their plan. The price went up. And you see, they talk about insuring 20 million people, but the thing of it is a lot of those people were on Medicaid. A lot of those people were people that were sick, and somehow we've got to take care of these people that are in terrible shape.
Well, I can tell you one thing. And you and I have talked about this on previous programs. You start talking Medicaid to me, and I'm going to get my hackles up a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Everybody here in the state of the Democrats, the liberals, etc., say, oh, well, my goodness, there's 78 to 80,000 people on Medicaid, and they're suffering. We've got to do something for them. And I can guarantee you, from the professionals that I've talked to, there's a large percentage of those people on Medicaid that are absolutely leeches on the system. Your comment.
Well, of course. Okay, you go to a store, a big store in North Burley, and you see people definitely younger than me running around on them carts because they have chosen to not take care of themselves. You see, part of the thing is personal responsibility.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to sound heartless, but you see, I have to pay for it. I got to take care of my own children.
Yep.
My own expenses. I got to take care of my own. But when people choose to abuse their bodies or neglect their bodies, you see, I take care of myself.
Well, wait a minute. I know that. I don't want to ramble here because I've got a shortage on time. Wait, just a minute. I don't want to lump everybody together, and I'm sure you don't either, of people that maybe have a distinct and very well qualified disability. Hey, man, I'm on crutches. But there are people, and you know these people, that will absolutely do anything they can to jazz up the system and make it so that if they're even able-bodied, they're going to go out and they're going to figure ways they can stay home, eat bonbons, and watch a game show. It happens, and we need to weed those people out.
Well, we have to have a true monitoring of the situation.
Yeah.
Okay? Now listen to this. You're a disabled man, a legitimately disabled man, but you've never been disabled. We don't even talk about you being on crutches because we don't even think of it that way. You're riding your four-wheeler, you're roping, you're riding horses, you're driving your pickup, pulling the horse trailer, you're doing everything you do. I mean, who thinks of Zeb Bell as being on crutches? It doesn't even enter my mind, even though I know it. I don't think of you that way because you aren't that way. You see, your mindset is not like that. But you see, these other people are victims. They're poor, pitiful me people. I'm sorry. I got enough to do to take care of myself and my children.
Yes.
Let alone You know, you need to be responsible for yourself and your children.
Absolutely. And that carries one step further, too, Randy. When it comes to the refugee system coming into this country, I don't want these bleeding heart liberals getting on television with the tears in the corner of their eye and they're dabbing their nose with their handkerchief going, oh, come on. What's the matter with you Americans? Where's your Christian attitude? You know something, Randy? Right now, as I stated many, many times, I will do things. You know this. You've been a friend of mine for years. I will do anything to help people, a group or a private entity when they have needs. But I absolutely am not going to be bled dry because the left wants my billfold.
Well, this is the thing. You know, there's legitimate disability and then there's neglect.
Yes.
And you see,
yes.
You know, so you're right. You don't want to sound heartless, and this is me saying this. This isn't you. But you see, this is the reason why the welfare system has to have people that work in it that monitor their effort.
Yeah. You know, I just wish we could go on and on this because I've told our representatives, I've told our senators, we have got to devise a system, and I'm running late here, Randy, just give me a real short response, but I've told them that we've got to revise our system, and we have to look at each and every case that is receiving money, welfare, whatever, and we have to have a complete diagnosis as to whether or not they're legitimately in need.
Well, this is one thing. There has to be drug testing for welfare recipients because if they're inducing illegal drugs of any type and then making their health worse, this cannot go on.
No, and then this crybaby attitude of, well, you can't do that. Why, you're infringing on their rights. And this sounds harsh, but they have no rights. If they're infringing on Randy and Zeb's billfold, they're on my rights. And I'm sick and tired of them taking precedence.
It's just like these roads. You and I are going to have to pay for it with our taxes. You and I are going to, somehow we're going to have to figure out a way. But it'll all end up on you and I, the tax-paying people.
Yes, gotcha. Hey, I got to run, buddy. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Callswell, and there are a portion of the audience right now that is going, oh, why that evil man? How can he suggest such things? Why, looking at everybody on a case-by-case basis. How dare they? You know what? I don't care if those people are offended. We've got to do something, and I still maintain, and I've told Scott Bedke, I've told Fred Wood, I don't care, I've told them all. We have got to have a review of where the money's going, who's getting it, and for what purpose and why. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Hello, Dr. Christine Pickup. Caller, I'll be there in a second. Don't go away. And I urge you, if you're having a little trouble hearing or notice that you keep saying, what? Huh? What'd you say, Martha? You better call for a hearing screening today. 312-0957. Right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. This lady is absolutely excellent. It's the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Call today. Real quick, before I take this call, I want to remind you on Tuesdays, Dr. History is brought to you by Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley with old Zach Attack and the rest of the crew, and they're right across from the airport. Number to call, 878-2091. Your doors, overhead doors, interior doors, and all your windows. I mean, man, you just stop in. They can help you. Absolutely. And they can even help send over contractors to do the installation work. You better believe it. Minnecasia Sales, 878-2091. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I know for a fact that in the last administration, if you went in and applied for welfare, food stamps, and any assistance, that you did not have to prove income. You did not have to prove anything. You did not even. You just signed a name and you were granted it.
I was told a story the other night. Caller number 2, just have patience with us for a second. I was told a story the other night, Doug, and I'm trying to find out more facts about this story. A lady of, let's just say, not from the United States, went in to get food at a free food dispersal and said that she had, I believe, 7 children, and they asked for papers and documentation, and I would have. And I guess, long story short, the persons that asked for the documentation and everything are in trouble because they were told that they should have just given her the food. Now, my question is, if that story is all true, and I can find out some more facts about it, what does that tell you about we're being told to just give, and we don't know who the gimmes are?
That's a fact. That is a fact. And I bet you that story is probably 99% true because of what I know. In fact, if you ask for documentations like income and citizenship and stuff like that, you got in trouble.
You know, if I would never use it, and I don't think you would ever either. But, you know, I am sick and tired, and I'll use the terminology again. I remember an email I had sent to me not too long ago, and this person really raked me over the coals, said I was too hard, I was calloused, I had no Christian love in my system for my fellow man that is down and out. You have known me for years, and I think that last statement offended me more than anything. How many times during the course of a year do my wife and I try to help anybody we can that's in need, and when these blowhards get out and they say things like this, it really offends me. But then on the other hand, Doug, you know as well as I do, we are being expected to take care of people that are leeches in the society.
Yes, we are expected. And I was watching Tucker Carlson last night have a debate with that Ramos, or I can't think of what his name is, that Mexican anchor.
Oh, Jorge Ramos.
Yes. And his statement offended me. He said, we are required to take in aliens and take care of them.
No, gee, wait a minute, Doug. I've got the Constitution here in my hand. Would you please tell me where it says that?
Well, he said it's not a moral obligation. We are required to do it.
Oh. And please, Doug, help me. I'm an old man. Where is that written so I can study it?
It isn't written.
Oh.
It really bothered me. Yes, we have a moral obligation to help people, but we are not required to help people. And that really offended me when he stated that. And that's what they feel.
Yeah.
They feel we are required. And then another guy on there was talking about the left and how the leftists, you cannot debate with them because a person from the left feels like they are superior to everybody else. If you debate them, you're not debating their policies, you're debating their superior, that person's superiority over everybody else.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he is a liberal.
Oh.
It was a very, very interesting, and if you can look it up, go to Tucker Carlson on Fox News and see if you can get that. The man wrote an article, and I'll see if I can find it and send it to you.
Well, I am so educated right now this morning. I feel so humble after you have straightened me out on how I should act towards liberal elitists. I tell you what, I am going to go down to a store this afternoon and buy those knee pads because my knees are sore and old, and I'm going to put them over my Wranglers so that I can bow down in reverence to these liberals and really give them the great reverence that they deserve. I'll do that, Dougie.
I'm sure you will. But, you know, you've got one of the biggest hearts out there. You've done so much for the community. You do so much for individuals. Like Christmas time, you got the Fill the Boot and your Christmas deal where you buy stuff and help a needy family. You help the senior centers. Anything that the community needs and you were able to do it, you are first in line. And I really respect you for that.
Well, I want to tell you this. I'm going to continue helping people as I can. And my lovely bride, I want to make sure that she's not excluded from the conversation because Deanne goes overboard helping other folks. But I think in your case, Doug, I know for a fact you've done the same. And a lot of my audience has been there to help. But it's when it becomes a demand and, like you said, a requirement, then I back up and I say, wait a minute, what about personal responsibility? That's
where I feel. And just real briefly, and get to that next caller, everybody, do what you can to help your senior centers. I mean, book them for parties, join if you're over 60 years old. Numbers help. It helps in federal funding. If you can monetarily donate some money, please do so.
All right.
I appreciate every little thing.
All right, Doug, you get to work. Have a great day and a great weekend. Thank you, sir. Bye. All right. Hey, I got a caller number 2. I haven't forgot you. Honest to goodness, I got to tell this, and I'll be right there with you. You are up next. Ag Express Incorporated is looking for good drivers. That's right, full and part-time positions, and they're really inviting retired folks to come over and apply too. And they'll work around your schedule 2 or 3 days a week, whatever works best for you, and you're home every night. And they've got new and maintained equipment, a great benefit plan, vacations. Whoa! You better call Dale and Paul right now at 438-8886. Allen in Twin Falls, 731-2495. And Russ in Burley at 431-7175. Ag Express looking for drivers. Call them right now. I am so sorry to keep you waiting. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Hey, I'd like to add to that last guy's statement on the senior center. I'm in the process of setting up a matching fund for them. And I'll probably be calling you and asking you for some help to make that thing work.
Well, it's consider it done. Whatever I can do to help you, I will.
I know you always do. You are a great man. And I want to comment on our caller before that guy. He was exactly right. We need to pay for our own health care. We need to provide that for ourselves. I started paying for my health care when I was 19 years old. I bought, insurance to protect me. I am on Medicare now, but my Medicare is secondary to my primary insurance.
Yeah.
My primary insurance pays 80-some% of my bill, and then Medicare will kick in.
Yes.
I'm 75 years old. I felt I've done my duty that way.
Absolutely.
I think if you're on drugs, if you're drinking a lot, and if you're doing crazy things, you shouldn't be able to be covered by anybody. You should pay your own bill. If you can afford to buy drugs, and if you can afford to buy alcohol, you need to be paying for your own medical care.
Jerry, I appreciate that.
You're a drag on society.
I appreciate that.
You need to be taking care of yourself.
Amen. God bless you, my dear friend, and have a wonderful day. And anytime you send me something, I'll take care of it for you. Thanks, Jerry.
You bet. You take care. May the Lord bless you and your whole audience.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that very, very much. I realize, and I know Jerry does, Doug, all my callers that have called in so far, they realize there's people that are going to be down and out. There's people that just absolutely are destitute, need help, and I don't think they're going to get turned away. I know they're not going to get turned away from health care and services to keep them going and hopefully getting better. No, they're not going to get turned away. But you know as well as I do that we have leeches in the system, great numbers of leeches in the system. I don't care if it's as menial as maybe below 10%, or it might even be as high as maybe 35%. And when you start talking those kind of numbers of people that are not responsible and don't want to be responsible for their families and their health and themselves, we've got a problem. And we have a problem. I really don't care. My goodness, this phone will not leave me alone. I don't care about your teary-eyed plea when I know that you could be out looking for a job instead of some of these clowns that sit on the corner like in Burley by Walmart, etc. Oh, feed me, I've had tough luck. If they spent as much time going to look for a job as they do sitting there doing nothing during maybe 8 or 9 hours on a corner, We'd all be better off. Calls are welcome, 436. I have no sympathy for them. And I will say this, I got to watch my numbers, my percentages here. Yeah, I'll come out and say 99% of them probably are juicing the system. That's the way I feel. Weather forecast is brought to you this hour by Riverview Urgent Care, 382 North Overland in Burley, and Twin Falls Urgent Care, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin Falls. Jerome Urgent Care, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. Minor emergencies, major care. We're going to be talking to Kyle James later on this morning, and they're open 7 days a week, and they are serving you and your family. Whether you got a sprain or a strain or a cut, or maybe you got a case of the flu, well, you stop in, they can and will help you at the urgent cares. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we do get closer to the weekend, and I know everybody's getting tired of me saying this, but the flood warning has been extended through today, and more than likely will be extended through this weekend. We saw a lot of snow out in the northern parts of the county, especially Minidoka and Lincoln counties, and with the temperature rising, we've got more snow melting. Here's what we've got for today. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 57. Tonight, cloudy and 42. Tomorrow, cloudy and 56. Partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 32. Saturday, partly cloudy, 58. And looks like partly cloudy and 61 for Sunday. That is your weather forecast for Zep at the Range.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And, of course, that is brought to you by Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care, Twin Falls, and Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. Kyle James and his very, very friendly and efficient staff serving you minor emergencies, major care. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Isn't it amazing? As many times, thousands of times that I've said those numbers, all of a sudden I kind of forgot it, for heaven's sakes. Hey, don't forget, too, the great big Women's Expo. Oh, this is going to be something else. Southern Idaho Women's Expo, sponsored by the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, Idaho Central Credit Union, and Idaho Housing and Finance, coming up on Thursday, April 13th, at the Burley Best Western Inn. And vendors, businesses, you better get your booth space. You are going to be watched and listened to by literally, I'm going to say, thousands of women going through there that would like to know more about your business and your products. What a great, great day for you. Call for a booth space today, 679-4793. 679-4793 for the Southern Idaho Women's Expo, April 13th. Don't you miss it. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had to chuckle, and I was thinking about this earlier this morning, and this is legit. I'm not exaggerating. A book called Reasons to Vote for Democrats, written by Michael Knowles, has now reached number 4 on the bestseller list. Reasons to Vote for Democrats. And every page is blank. He was on television this morning, and it was really hilarious. Oh, yeah, it's a very quick read, he said. And they go into all the different Democratic causes and why they're acting the way they are and their value system. And every page is blank. And I guess this guy is really feeling the heat from the Democratic kitchen. And he don't care. He's really a good tongue-in-cheek sport about it. But the reasons to vote for Democrats. A 200 and some odd page book. And every page is blank. I love it. I love it. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Did you hear, or have you heard or read about the women that were at the Day Without Women protest? Holy cow. are some of the most empty-headed, hate-filled females I've ever heard in my life. And you talk about their language. Naughty, naughty. Boy, I mean, the guy that runs that little bleeper machine, beep, the beep, beep, and like that. Holy smokes, these women, absolutely not the brightest light in the fixture. And their main intent and purpose was not to go out and say, I am woman, hear me roar. It was to denounce hate, cause strife, and absolutely create havoc against this administration and President Trump. And, quite frankly, they're following the money. And it goes right back to people like George Soros and others that absolutely hate this United States of America. But I listened to some of these women, and I was appalled. It was like listening to a bunch of sailors on leave. And to think that they're mothers. And to think that they were teachers. And to think that they were business ladies. And nurses. And talking like that on camera. I mean, to me, they just showed the low class or no class that whole event entertained. And I'd like your thoughts on it. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. Like to hear from you. Okay. Oh, and real quick, the left always says, especially some of the twits that live in the Twin Falls area, some of them, they always say, well, come on, Zeb, get off your high horse as far as going against the refugees. Why, it's only a very small number that have ever caused a problem. How many numbers and how many people does it take to cause a problem? One, I would say. Well, listen to this. Listen to this. It came out yesterday that an Iraqi refugee that came here to this country lied and gave a false name and gave false information. Imagine that. And now we find out, that he is being investigated as an ISIS insurgent that had killed many of our troops and other of our troops that were supporting us. And now they can't find the guy. Oh, doesn't that give you a warm and fuzzy feeling? Oh, but it's only one. It's only one. He's a killer. He is a terrorist. How many does it take to wreak havoc and kill, maim, bomb, and murder people? The left is absolutely, like I said earlier, a bunch of twits. And I'm beyond feeling sorry for them. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they're celebrating spring. I love spring. I love spring. It gives you a resurgence. It gives you a new purpose in life. Well, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers are having the big spring tire sale. Oh my, you got to get in there and check out all the tires for your cars and your pickups and your SUVs. Why, if you're getting ready for spring and summer driving, they've got the tires and the different tread designs just for your style of driving. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service. Now, you probably better get those brakes checked before you take off this spring, and they have got the best brake service at the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, along with front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries and service. They are the cream of the crop. I'll tell you where they're at. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin. Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Yes, sirree, Bob. Our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Really, really good folks. All right. Thank you very much. Good first hour. Enjoyed your calls and everything else. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see what else have we got cooking here. Next hour... I can't figure out why the door is creeping open or something. I got the dog. I got my bodyguard here. My little dog, my mini Corgi and mini Aussie, Ruby. She's got a complete 1-inch vertical when she jumps. Anyway, next hour at 9:06, Chamber of Commerce report with Kyla. And then at 9:15, we're going to talk about physical fitness. What are you doing with physical fitness? What do you do daily to help yourself? And then at 9:30, Rita, Ramsey. Oh, my goodness, we got a full plate. Stay tuned. Wheels is going to carry us up to news. I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Okay, here we go. Goober's home. And all is well in Belleville. There we go. All right. And let's take a look here and see. Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by your Magic Valley. Les Schwab Tire Centers, our major sponsor, all 7 locations. Great big spring tire sale going on right now. And don't forget some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Way Services, and I've said this so many times, and I certainly hope you'll take my advice. If you want to get on the route service and get rid of your garbage, wave goodbye to it every week, great. Give them a call, 734-6969. You want to talk about dumpsters. A lot of people are going, oh my goodness, it's going to be fantastic this weekend with the weather, and we're going to clean house, the garage or whatever. Get a dumpster. Get a dumpster from Western Waste, fill it up, and call them, and they'll come get it. All of this and more. Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Also want to remind, I know people that just absolutely love animals. Animals are their life, 24/7, 365. And I'm talking about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. Write this number down. If your dog or kitty cat gets sick, or if you've got trouble with some steers or your horse, they are a mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they do love them all. So get a hold of them at 678-1177. That number again, 678-1177. Warm hearts for cold noses at Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. Neat, nice people, I tell you what. Okay, talking about neat, nice people, let's get right on over to the Chamber of Commerce and say a good morning to the lovely Kyla. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. Are you loving the sunshine or what?
I am absolutely. The minute the clock strikes 11 a.m. and this program is gone, over, I am too.
You will be outside.
I'll be outside. Kyla, you are getting ready for a huge event coming up on April 13th, and I don't want to overshadow anything else that you want to talk about this morning, but boy, oh boy, you need booth spaces. We've been telling everybody about the vendors. If they pass up this opportunity to show their wares and discuss their business, their competition might be there, and it's going to leave those folks in the lurch, so they better call and get their booth spaces ordered right now.
Yes, actually 679-4793 is our number, and we are signing up lots of folks for the booth spaces. We have over 50 booth spaces available, but I would say we have less than that definitely at this moment in time, and they're filling up fast, and we're just so excited. It's the Southern Idaho Women's Expo that happens April 13th. The doors open at 9 a.m. They'll close at 4. we have some phenomenal speakers that will talk in between the time that you get to spend with all the customers and the vendors. And so we're going to start things off on April 13th with Doctors North and Higgins from Kasia Regional Hospital. They're going to be talking about all sorts of women's health issues, and they are just a kick in the pants. And they're young doctors. They're fun. We're going to have some nutritional snack samples and all sorts of fun things in the morning. And then in the afternoon, our keynote speaker is Idaho Supreme Court Justice Robin Brody. And your ticket, if you want to get your advance tickets right now, you can call us, 679-4793. They're $20. That includes the entire expo plus lunch, which is a pretty good deal. And then we'll have comedian Susan Rice wrap things up at the end of the expo just to leave us all with a smile on our faces. And so some of the vendors that have signed up already, phenomenal folks, and they're so excited to talk with everyone. And I know a lot of folks kind of take their moms as a gift for their birthday, or they do all sorts of fun stuff, or the whole office takes off, and all the women in the office get tickets, and they come to the Women's Expo. So just some ideas out there for all the business owners of some things that you might want to do for the ladies in your office. This is a phenomenal event to get to.
You can tell when somebody is really passionate about an issue. They just talk, and all the words just flow. I'm telling you what, for a minute there, I thought you'd got vaccinated with a phonograph needle. You were really going.
I think, thanks, Zeb. Thanks so much.
Now, we know that's coming up, and we're going to keep plugging that event coming up on April 13th, but what else is on the docket for you to talk about the Chamber of Commerce this morning?
Oh, my goodness. You know what? People sometimes say, what is there to do around here? Well, this weekend, besides cleaning up your yard and getting all that kind of good stuff done because the weather's going to be great, we have all sorts of cultural events happening. So this is the last weekend that you can catch Tarzan at the King Fine Arts Center. And so tickets are on sale. You need to get them. Go to this show. It is phenomenal. And, they've just got, the actors actually do some flying and all sorts of stuff just like Tarzan the movie. So you need to go check it out. Also, Howell's Opera House in Oakley has The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. That is this weekend. And then Minico High School, the kids are doing A Beauty and the Beast, which, of course, the big movie is going to be coming out again from Disney, in just about a week, I think. And so these are just some of the fun things that are going to be going on in our community. So just tons of stuff to do. Take the family, go check out all this stuff, and just enjoy your weekend.
Wow. I mean, holy smokes, you could really stand toe-to-toe with somebody when they say, well, there's nothing to do here. You've got a whole litany.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things that are going on. And, I mean, I think sometimes when people say there's nothing to do here, I'm just like, jump on the events calendar for the Chamber. Make that effort to find out what's going on, because there is always some great activities that are going on in our community. Oh, my. And if they want to find out more, how do they get a hold of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce? Well, you can jump on our website, minicassiachamber.com, and then click on events, on the events calendar. That will bring up everything. And we also want to encourage folks, you do not need to be a Chamber member to put your event on the calendar. And it's a really easy process. Basically, you're just filling out the date, the time, contact information, and then that gets submitted. And that's a fun way to just get your word out there to the entire community. So whether you're a Chamber member or not, we want your event on our calendar. You can also call us at 679-4793 or fax us your flyer at 679-4794. Wow, there you go. Dan, would you shut that door there, please? That noise coming in. Thank you very much. Kyla, I appreciate it, and thank you so much for all you do. And we're going to keep telling everybody about the Southern Idaho Women's Expo coming up on the 13th. And vendors, please call 679-4793. Thank you for being on the program this morning. You bet, Zeb. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Thank you very, very much. I want to tell everybody right now about some dear friends of ours and yours at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with our dear friend Joel Heward as the manager, and his family and the staff, always there to serve you. Now,
when there's the passing of a loved one, they will travel to the rural towns and churches to help you with all the arrangements. And always, always upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please remember the number. Call them at 436-5636. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here real quick. Physical fitness. What do you folks do during the day for physical fitness? Or do you do nothing? Hold on just a minute. We got a little issue here at home with something's wrong with a piece of equipment out on the back porch, and I just happened to hear the noises and everything. And I do this from my home. And when you hear something that's not running right or something that sounds like it might be burning up, it drew my attention, so I thought I'd better check it out. Anyway, what do you do for physical fitness? And I found an article that said you can do your physical fitness during the course of the day while you're just waiting and standing around in a grocery shopping line, or sitting in your car, or standing at the supermarket again, like I said, or watching TV, or while working at a desk. What do you do for physical fitness? Well, let's check some of these things out here real quick. It says while you're just waiting and standing around, here's what you can do if you have a little bit of a tummy bulge. Or you have, I got to say this really kind of polite, maybe you have a big caboose. Well, they say that you can help tighten things up a little bit if you squeeze your behind 10 times. And then wait and do it again 10 times. And then wait and do it again 10 times. Okay, now we've taken care of the southern exposure. What about your stomach muscles? Well, do the same thing as you're standing there. Just tighten up those stomach muscles. Hold it for a little bit, and then let it out. Hold it for a little bit, and then let it out. And then they say that you can stretch your arms downward behind you, and that will squeeze your triceps, and you do that 10 times, each set up to 3. And then rise up on your toes and squeeze your calves 10 times in 3 segments. Okay, and then here's another one while working at a desk. A lot of us are doing a lot of things during the course of the day sitting down. So if you feel like you're not getting your exercise, if your day includes a lot of chair time, swap a stability ball for your usual perch for 20 to 30 minute periods throughout the day. Now, I have this picture in my mind's eye. A stability ball in place of your desk chair. Now, I do not have the best balance in the world. And I can just envision myself sitting on this program on a stability ball, and then, all of a sudden I'm gone. I don't know if that's such a good idea, especially if you're involved in broadcasting. Maybe Wheels and I will get stability balls, and we'll sit on those for the entirety of the program. It says if your day includes a lot of chair time, swap a stability ball for your usual perch for 20 to 30 minute periods throughout the day. And then it says be sure and stand up and walk around frequently. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, you've got me confused. Is it the rear end or the butt or the caboose, or which is it now?
Well, on this program, we try to always use the terminology that would befit people in different situations, and depending upon your physical build, if you have a rather large southern exposure, you could call it your caboose, you could call it the end of the trailer or whatever, or in your case, being a cowboy, you can just call it your big fat butt.
Okay, well, I just needed some clarification because, hell, there's a lot of things here involved.
Well, Bob, I got to be honest with you. I've known you for about 25, 30 years. And please do... Yeah, but please do not tell me that you go to the supermarket and perform those exercises. That is TMI, too much information for me to know. Thank you, Bob.
Goodbye. Have a good day,
Ooh, those stability balls, they scare me. Holy cow. I saw that on TV here about a week ago. They were doing a commercial for these stability balls. Oh, you've got to become more trim and fit, and by using this stability ball, then, of course, your balance will be better, and it'll tighten up your muscles. Not in my case. Then it says you can also exercise, listen to this one, while brushing your teeth. I can't believe this. Balance deteriorates with age, but there is a trick to getting it back. When you brush your teeth, they're suggesting that you stand on one foot for 60 seconds. And then switch. Now, you're brushing at the same time. I know this might sound like a coordinated effort for you to have a wreck. But then switch over to your other foot and then stand on that and brush. You're going to have the cleanest doggone teeth you ever saw in your life if you don't fall in the sink. Let's see what else have we got here. Oh, and then here's one. While watching television. Lower body workout can be done when your favorite show is on. Lie on your side on the floor and do 3 sets of 15 leg lifts. Then 3 sets of 15 leg circles. Raising your leg and rotating it in a circular motion, and then switch sides. I mean, they've got it all figured out here. When you're at a stoplight, no, I don't want to get into that one. Yeah, boy, that's one I don't want to get into on the radio. It's all about your bladder. Let's talk about that one later. Anyway, those are some great ways for you to stay fit. Maybe you've got some ways. How do you exercise during the course of the day? Now, we get up early in the morning at about 4 o'clock. And we do a lot of, Deanne does a lot of bicycling and a lot of body workout, you're running in place, and I do a lot of weightlifting, and then we go out and walk, and holy smokes in the dark, the last couple of months that hasn't been utilized too much because of all the snow drifts. All you can do is just go out and walk in a little small circle, but it was a lot better this morning. What do you do to keep fit and exercise? And I will tell you this. Please, in all seriousness, do something. Do something on a daily routine, a daily regimen, whether it's for 5 minutes, whether it's for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and kind of get the blood and the juices flowing a little bit. Maybe work up some kind of a little sweat, whatever it might be, because it's all heart-healthy exercise and good for you. So take care of that, please. Everybody should exercise. Whew. Now that we've got all the noises, evidently that machine didn't croak because it's running a lot quieter right now. Anyway, let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. They have got all the four-wheelers over there. I mean, that showroom floor is just chock full. I don't know who designed, where's this going to go and what space that's going to be in, but they've utilized every inch over there to have the best showroom display for you. And I urge you that if you already have a four-wheeler, I urge that you get over there and get them serviced and ready to go for the spring. I'm going to take mine over there, I'll tell you what. And they got all the accessories. Oh, I'm telling you, folks, you stop over today. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Let's ride. Yes, it is true. This is where the fun is sold. Minor emergencies, major care. That's what I say about our friends over at Urgent Care, and that's what happened. I think it sounded like our dryer was going to blow up a few minutes ago. Anyway, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. My goodness, life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and so much more. And they're so dedicated and responsive to your needs. All you have to do is call for an appointment today at 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, waiting right this minute to have your call so they can serve you. You call them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How about yourself?
Well, between the dryer sounding like it was going to blow up and the dog barking and physical fitness, I am peachy. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I wanted to tell you about a little experience.
Uh-oh.
I took a friend to a doctor. He was a heart doctor. And as he was talking to us, he was going around and lifting up on his toes, and he was bending down, and he was doing calisthenics while he was talking to us.
Really?
And that earned him the title of a Fruit Loop. We did not care for that at all. And I don't want to look like that out in public.
So he was actually exercising while he was conducting the exam?
He was.
Holy cow. You know, I guess it would be a little disconcerting if you're sitting there in the waiting room and all of a sudden somebody opens the door and comes in doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, really. It was just really, really weird, and we walked out of there and shook our heads and did not care if we ever saw him again.
Well, there is a time and there is a place for everything, but I bet you now, after listening about standing in a supermarket line, you're probably going to be watching people, and maybe you're going to be watching them in places you shouldn't be watching them watch.
Probably. And I don't want them seeing me doing something like that either.
Hey, God bless you for your call. Thank you so much. All right.
Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Thank you. Oh, my. Yeah, I never thought about that until she brought it up. You know, you're standing in the supermarket line, and all of a sudden you notice little twitches, and they're exercising, supposedly. Oh, my. Well, you heard it here first. Ag Express is looking for drivers. All you have to do is just give them a call. They're looking for full and part-time drivers, and they'll work around your schedule 2 or 3 days a week, whatever works best for you. And even for retired folks, hey, give them a call. They'd love to visit with you. You're home every night, and they've got great benefits and a vacation schedule. Wow! You better call Ag Express with Dale and Paul at 438-8886 or Allen in Twin Falls at 731-2495 or Russ in Burley at 431-7175. Ag Express looking for drivers. You give them a call today. You know, while I was doing that exercise deal, I'm kind of like Lorna when she called about that doctor. You know, some of the clothing that people wear now, and they don't mind wearing it out in public, and it is so skin tight and so revealing, and certain people wearing it shouldn't be wearing it. And I can imagine that some of these exercises that I talked about that you can do, like they said, in the supermarket line or whatever, with that kind of clothing, it would be very disconcerting. Go wash your eyes out with soap. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got cooking here? Oh, we're going to be over at Denny's next Thursday on the 16th for Lunch Bunch. I want to remind you of that. And we really are looking forward to a jam-up fun time starting at 11:30 next Thursday. And our thanks go out to Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, and Stokes for all of our door prizes. So don't miss it. America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, next Thursday, Zeb's Lunch Bunch. And we certainly hope we will see you there. We are about ready for a lady that's on our program every Thursday. I know I'm a few seconds early here, but normally I'm about 2 minutes late. And let's see if she's on the line with us right now. Good morning to the lovely Rita Ramsey. Are you there?
I am. How are you doing today?
Rita, how could I be anything but good when you hear a weather forecast that it looks like we might get 60 degrees this weekend?
I know. The thing I worry about is the trees budding out and all that kind of stuff, and then having a really hard freeze again.
Oh, yes, I know.
You know it will.
Yeah, now, I'm afraid you're 100% right, but it is worrisome. But we got to enjoy it while we can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rita, I want to start things off this morning, and I've been very, very harsh about the Day Without Women event. I've been very, very sarcastic and negative about these women because to me they were, honestly, I've said it before, I'll say it again, a very selfish group of mindless women that were only in it to trash our government, trash our new president, and really, really, bottom line, what were they trying to get out in front of the American public?
Well, it's just somebody trying to manipulate a bunch of idiots, and those idiots are stepping right up to the plate. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like that, you know, if people want to make a statement, show them what you can do for crying out loud. You don't have to go on a big old protest or anything else. And the thing of it is that actually was all funded by getting things started with Soros. And so anybody who participated in that was just validating Soros' power and control. I've read 2 or 3 different articles about that, and one person said, I was at work on left-wing day because I refuse to be a victim, and I want young women to understand that they don't have to demand free things from taxpayers to be real women. I didn't wake up this morning worrying about what protest color I'd wear or what the world would do without me because I didn't wake up feeling like the victimhood narrative was part of my story. Real women don't have to remind the world every day that history once slighted them. I don't know about a day without women, but I could use a day without this nasty feminist BS masqueraded as women's rights.
Rita, you know, I feel kind of out of place here somewhat by saying this, and I'm afraid that we are going to alienate some, but for those that are feeling like, you know, I'm picking on them, so be it. But really, you mentioned victimized and victimhood, and they said that they were standing up and fighting for their brothers or their sisters for more rights. What more rights? Help me on this. I don't understand that.
Well, I don't really know. All I can say is I've been in the workforce since the day I got out of high school, which was in 1973. I've worked full-time the whole time. And yes, I run up against people who, you know, like a man will come into our business and he doesn't want to talk to me because I'm a woman and I wouldn't know things about electrical or heating. And then the guys that are here will come and ask me the questions after they find out what his question is. And there are some people that way.
Yep.
I run into those probably on a regular basis, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. All I have to do is let them know what I know, and then there's some respect there. And that's the way that all women need to be. And it doesn't matter whether it's women or men. If you're going to be credible, you just have to prove what you know and let them know that, and not put up a big fight because there's no sense in it. It's just wasted breath. And I don't feel like that. You know, that the world is super bad in at least in America. I know there's other places in the world where they really discriminate really bad against women, and possibly here too. I haven't run up against it myself, other than just maybe a little bit of prejudice, but that's okay. I could be a guy and they could be prejudiced against me because I didn't know what they thought I should know. It's hard to say.
Rita, what I was really taken aback by was the language. some of the interviews, whether it was on ABC, CBS, or even on Fox or whatever it might be, was just nothing but empty-headed, hate-filled rhetoric. It wasn't about furthering women's causes. It wasn't about furthering, you're not getting treated fair. It was about hatred, absolute hatred towards this president and this administration. It was the language that they used, most of it had, and some of it had to be bleeped on a regular basis. It was pathetic.
Well, it is, and it's really sad. And like I said, this was George Soros started and organized and tried to get a bunch of people on board with him. The big thing of it is that this is just trying to be divisive, trying to divide America, and you know, he can keep doing that. That's Obama's agenda, was dividing America, and he did a pretty good job of getting it started. And because he's not the center of things of the world anymore, then Soros has got to come up with some other things to get started so that they can have divisiveness. There's no sense in what's going on. There's just absolutely no sense other than just trying to divide people one against the other. And really, if somebody had an interest in America and had a ton of money to just waste, they'd say, well, let's start something that's pro-America and pro-getting along and pro, you know, it doesn't matter what your politics or your religion is or the things that divide us. We can come together on lots of things that we have in common. And if somebody would do that, they'd kind of go, oh, guess we don't really need to do that because the majority of the people already do that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
They focus on the bad stuff.
Absolutely. Rita, I guess I was fairly naive, and like I said earlier, first hour, I don't like technology. I don't like computers. I don't like iPhones. I don't like that kind of thing. But I was really taken aback this morning when it was pointed out on a newscast early at about 4:45 this morning about how these geeky little perverts that work for like NSA and other spy organizations, they can actually watch me and you and others after our TV is turned off, and they can listen to our conversations with others, even though our cell phone is not directly on. Doesn't that give you a real sense of security?
Yeah, it should make everybody feel really good about it. But this is the truth, and it's been happening. And as long as you carry an electronic device or have they even said some Samsung TVs have the capability of that. So it may even just be the TV that you have in your living room or your bedroom or wherever you have TVs in your house. But they can do it, and if they want to, and what it is it's somebody using powers that they have no business using. They're being abusive. But we have to remember that this isn't new. This is the way that it happens, and anybody who saw that movie, what it was called Eagle Eye or something like that, where that, you know, no matter where they went, they could look at them and find them, and it didn't matter whether it was street places or what, in stores or whatever. But remember Cheryl Atkinson, when she had that big to-do with CBS News because they were giving her a bad time because she was researching for Fast and Furious, and she'd kind of gone against some of the Obama stuff. And she was doing all kinds of research, and the night she heard her computer kick on, and as she looked up at the screen, there were starting all of these deletions and stuff on it, and it was like, holy cow, what's going on? And so she got authorities out there and some IT people, and they found out that there was a capability of them coming back through her stuff and looking at what she was doing, and they were starting to delete some of her research. And so it's not out of this realm of possibility that they could look at you and use your smartphone as instead of a microphone that you would hear your stuff on your phone, it's pulling it back in and going the opposite direction.
Rita, But, I don't know if you've thought about this, but I worry about it quite a bit. We are at a point in our lifetimes to where I don't think we can turn the bus around. I don't think that we can recreate privacy. I don't think that we can recreate the normalcy of what's my business is my business. I don't think we're ever going to see privacy again. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right, and the only way that you are going to create it is if you get someplace where there aren't cell towers and stuff within, an area for you to use. So I guess it's going off the grid or heading to the bunker.
Well, it's a scare for me because, we're always told, well, we're not doing that to the private sector, and I say to that, be lonely. I don't believe it.
Well, it's really true, and I can't remember the exact circumstances of it before, but the people in the country who are supposed to be keeping us safe by monitoring and doing various different things, some of them will start abusing it for their own purposes. Like it was a few years back, there were some, I think they were FBI or CIA. I think they were probably CIA people who were doing background checks on, like so-and-so's girlfriend and that kind of thing, when they had absolutely no business being into that kind of stuff. And so when you have human beings, and humans are going to do it, they're going to start abusing a little bit of their power. And basically what's happening is they're taking away our constitutional rights.
Absolutely. Want to shift gears a little bit and get into a subject that, boy, I'm telling you, it makes me mad, and that's the health care. Now, I know on previous programs you and I have discussed Obamacare. Now we're looking at what might be called the American Health Care Act. I'm just saying this up front. I think the Republicans are going to be like little baby birds in their nest, and they're going to make a mess in the nest if they rush through this health care and vote on it way too soon. What are your thoughts?
Well, I feel that is exactly right. The big problem with doing what they're doing is if they're trying to jump on it so fast because there's a lot of pressure with, hey, you are going to repeal it. It's, well, we can't just repeal it. We can't get rid of it. So we'll do something different. Well, they didn't do anything different, and they will own it. It will be theirs. They will own it. And the Democrats are glad to let them do that, but they're not going to be changing anything. If they really were interested in what was good for America, they would say, and it's pretty basic, and that's why I don't understand why they can't do it. They would say, okay, we will make possible insurance to those who can't get it or those who can't afford it. We will make catastrophic insurance available to you if you can't get your own. The end. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to do this. We're not going to mandate that employers have to provide it. We're not going to mandate that you can only do these 3 insurance companies because they're the only ones that got on board with Obamacare. We're not going to do this and that and the other. We're just going to make sure that those who can't get insurance have a way to get it.
Yeah.
The end. That's all they have to do. And then let me and you and everybody else do what we want to do with our health care. They could say, okay, if you want to have medical savings accounts, we'll make those so that you can use them and utilize them. But they don't need to be involved in all of it. And that's where they really don't want to let go. Because when this was started, it was taking over one-sixth of the economy.
Yeah.
And they don't want to let that go because they have control over it. And Obamacare is a lot more than just providing some health care. We've gone over this before with how doctors are supposed to ask questions about, well, if somebody looks like they're a little stabled, are there any guns in your home? Those kind of things. There's a lot that Obamacare encompasses, and we need to just totally get rid of it. The end. And then say, okay, we're going to send this back to the states. People in your state who need insurance and can't get it, the states can make some kind of a, whether it's an indigent fund or whatever, make it available so that people can get catastrophic insurance of what they can either be covered on or pay for, and let the rest of us just do our own thing. It's called the free market.
Absolutely.
Out of the mix.
Absolutely. You know, the other day at a news briefing, Tom Price with the Trump administration made the statement that we want to make sure that the Health Care Act is a patient's Health Care Act. Okay, great. Then you, big government, keep your hands out of the fray. Let the American public and others look at this, dissect it, and tear it apart and offer assistance in trying to refigure some of the clauses in it so that it is an American Patients Act. Don't sit there with your three-piece suit and your wingtip shoes on as a bureaucrat and force feed us something that's not going to work.
Well, that's exactly right. The thing that's bad about it is you've got the vice president going out to meet with conservative leaders, and he's trying to strong-arm him into not saying, hey, you know what, this is no different than what Pelosi said. You know, we just have to do this. We have to do this, and you know, there's been insinuations that maybe we need to read through all of this. And no, you don't need to read through it. Well, here we are again with Pelosi's famous, we've got to pass it before we know what's in it kind of thing. No, you don't need to read it first. And so you've got some of the liberty caucuses that are saying, no, we don't want to do this. Stop it. Just leave it alone. Just do your own thing. Don't just sign up with Obamacare 2.0, and that's exactly what it's going to be. But for some reason, these politicians do not want to let go of power, and I would guess that Trump is really concerned about saying, hey, I got rid of Obamacare, and then really quietly saying, but I gave you the same thing, with only now we own it.
Yeah.
I think that it needs to be slow and basic, and leave everybody out of it that doesn't need help.
Amen. You know, Rita, I might caution you, too, to try to reserve time on your busy schedule. Next Monday on my program at 10:30, we're going to have, she's known all over the United States for her great ability to dissect and really chew up Obamacare and tell us all the fallibilities and the wrongs and the rights, etc. Dr. Elena George from Atlanta, Georgia, is going to be back on my program again talking about this health care program. And boy, I can tell you right now, after talking to her yesterday on the phone, she's not a real big fan of what the Republicans are doing.
Well, I think that they're just trying to jump into this too fast so that they can tell America, hey, we said we'd do it now. Just leave us alone and let us make our mark on Washington, and we can just take care of things. Just don't get involved with it. Leave us alone. I think that's really all they're doing is just say so they can say, we did it, and leave us alone. Let us do our thing now.
I agree. Rita, stand by. I've got a quick weather forecast, and the weather brought to you this hour by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, so much more. You work with the pros. In Burley and Rupert, the very best. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Here's your weather forecast as we do get closer to the weekend, and I know everybody's getting tired of me saying this, but the flood warning has been extended through today and more than likely will be extended through this weekend. We saw a lot of snow out in the northern parts of the county, especially Minidoka and Lincoln counties, and with the temperature rising, we've got more snow melting. Here's what we've got for today. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 57. Tonight, cloudy and 42. Tomorrow, cloudy and 56. Partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 32. Saturday, partly cloudy, 58. And looks like partly cloudy and 61 for Sunday. That is your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch.
I love it. Thank you very much, Gina. Brought to everybody by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Oh, and by the way, Leiden Crane, very fluent in Spanish and can offer any of the services in Spanish, tax return preparations, etc. You get a hold of them today. Two numbers, in Burley, 878-7000, and in Rupert, 436-5607. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, CPAs, the very best. Rita, right now, as you know, I am not in favor and have not been in favor, and nobody's going to change my mind on this. The refugee system in the United States, to me, is nothing more than a blatant attempt by our government to just bring in more people at our cost, our responsibility, if you will. And we do not know who these people are. And every time I've said that on the radio, some of the left Democrats in this area, they criticize me and they say, oh, we got the greatest vetting process in the world. Well, listen to this. I'll give you a short synopsis. It was found out yesterday that one of the Iraqi refugees that came here to America, imagine this, Rita, lied about his name, lied about his past, and they found out much later that he was one of the Iraqis that was in shooting and killing our own soldiers, and they went to investigate him and find out more, and now he's here in the United States and they can't find him. Doesn't that make you just feel warm and secure?
Yeah, we ought to feel really good about this. The thing of it is, anybody who wants these refugees, I think the way that we counter when they say this to us is, all we want is to be safe. If you can guarantee me that they're not a harm to somebody, I'd be glad to have them. So prove to me that they are. And those people will be like, whoa, I can't. We, blah, 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 and they'll just stutter and stammer because they have no way of doing that. And the thing of it is that this is a plan. It's been a plan for a long time for people to come into this country and to do harm to us. And I really believe, and this is just me, but I really believe that this is part of their caliphate of trying to forward the Muslim faith throughout the world.
I agree.
Either you belong or you don't.
Yep.
And that's how they do it, is getting into all these countries and starting to turn the communities into Muslim and using Sharia law.
Look at what's happened. If you can't understand what was just said by Rita, just think about this, folks. There has been a warm, cordial hand to the Muslims, and yet there's also been a cold fist extended to Christians. We have seen this in Hollywood. We've seen it across our governmental bureaucracies across the United States. We are seeing people be much more sympathetic and inclusive of the Muslim culture into this country than we are our own culture, and I'm very worried.
Well, we should be, and the thing of it is, and you can see it, those who have been allowed in here as refugees are not Christians. There's only been like 30, like 30, not 30,000 or 3,000 or 30, many more 30. It's 30 people who have come here as refugees, and they are Christian. They will not let the Christians into this country. That started with Obama, and hopefully they can do some changing, because the Christians aren't the ones who are trying to turn us into Muslims.
No, and
Christians just want to live their lives.
The thing I'm really upset about, and if somebody's offended by this, that's your problem, not mine. They're coming here and wanting to create and reestablish or even enhance their own culture. Hey, when you come to America, you've got to assimilate. It's a melting pot with our values, our culture, and I'm not going to bend on that.
Well, that needs to be with everybody, whether they're refugees or whether they're people who are just coming to America because they want to work or because they, all these people who come from south of the border, they just want to come and work. Okay, come and work and then go back home. But don't try to turn our country into where you just left from. It wasn't amicable to you, or you wouldn't be here. So just come here, blend in, become a citizen, be legal, and everything else. When we don't have laws, we will have the downfall of our country if we do not uphold those laws.
Absolutely. I wished I had more time. I wanted to get into the North Korean situation with you. I think is very important and very ominous. But real quick, I've only got 30 seconds. Anything going on with the Tea Party?
We're having a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at the city of Burley.
Okay. Rita, have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Don't get sunburned. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks. You too. Bye.
All right, thanks much. Bye-bye. Rita Ramsey, every Thursday on my program, and I look forward to that. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, you're ahead of me. You know what? On Thursdays at this time, I get so hungry. And I'm starving to death. Well, I know some great places to go if you are hungry and starving to death. How about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? Oh, listen to this. Try and treat yourself to a mint chip shake or a mint Oreo shake. Oh, along with the chicken fried steak sandwich and the fries with the special sauce. Oh, my goodness, or a famous Farmer Brown burger. You're going to love it. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, let's also, how about try Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Listen to this, and I'm drooling all over the microphone. Pork burrito, beans, rice, pork, rice, sour cream. I said rice twice. That's okay. That's nice. And cheese, all of this, my goodness sakes, fantastic. And they've got the Taco Bandito with bacon, with jalapeno. Oh, my goodness. And the breakfast burritos at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Burgers, etc. 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. And did you know that you can get corn dogs or burritos only 99 cents after 3 o'clock in the afternoon? You do now. And I'll tell you what, they've got delicious burgers. And every Sunday at the Burley store, shrimp dinners. Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. Well, let's move over to Steve-O's. Hello, Steve-O's. 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. That new salad they've got is phenomenal. That new salad, the chicken breast salad with bacon, you're going to love that. And they got a different soup every day, and buffalo burgers, and cupcakes. Oh, and a great friendly staff serving you. You're going to love it. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Steve-O's in Hayburn. Oh, and last but not least, how about Doc's Pizza? Hello, Doc's Pizza at 514 6th Street, right in Rupert, on the square. Take and bake pizzas. You can get take and bake pizzas at Doc's. You take them home, bake them in your own oven, and there you go. Really easy and super delicious. And they've got spring break specials, and you got to get in there and try all the most popular and delicious pizzas right there at Doc's Pizza. Man, nice people and a great place to go. Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Okay, what do we got coming up next hour? Well, we've got Cassia County School Days. And we've got Vice Principal of Burley High School, Andrew Ray, coming on the program. Then we're going to have our business salute. We're going to be talking to Kyle James with the Urgent Cares. And then at 10:30, this was a last-minute addition to the program. We have 2 people coming on, and I don't even know who or what they represent. I think we're going to be talking about veterans, I hope. And that's going to be at 10:30. It was one of those last spur-minute things on the computer. Had to get a hold of somebody, and I did. Right now, we're going to listen to CBS News. Wheels is going to lead us up there, and I'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, my. Hour number 3 on a Thursday, March the 9th. Why, it seems only yesterday that it was only March the 8th. Anyway, good morning, Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and a big spring tire sale going on right now. You stop in and see any one of the 7 locations today, along with some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Wonderful people. We got a couple of minutes here. I wanted to remind you that, yes, we are going to have our March lunch bunch. It is cut and dried and solidified in cement. We're going to be there next Thursday. That's March 16th at 11:30. Don't miss it. And we want to say thank you to Smith's Foods, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes, for providing our gift certificates. And I urge, whether you've been there 100 times or whether you're brand new. Everybody try to be there. We got to get things back into the swing of things again. We got to get all our numbers back there after we've had some horrendous happenings with the weather from November, December, January, February. So let's get this all put back together and have a great big lunch bunch at America's Diner next Thursday at 11:30, Denny's Restaurant. Thank you very much. Let's see, what else have I got in notes here this morning? I don't think I've got anything else I need to remind you of right now. So we're going to carry on and remind you that we're headed into Cassia County School Days. That's right. And we've got two wonderful sponsors of Cassia County School Days. First of all, Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue, Suite E in Burley. And for your outpatient surgeries, let me tell you, they can save you a lot of money. Whether it's colonoscopies, whether it's glaucoma surgery, whether it's foot and knee surgery, call them and find out more. Please, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center in Burley, along with A Child's World. Did you know at A Child's World that they've got the half off, half the store will still continue to be half off so they can bring in new merchandise. And I mean, boy, they've got all the cribs and the strollers and the 5-piece boys suits and the white shirts. I mean, they've got it all for you. And they've also got all the Cherokee scrubs and shoes, everything at 1308 Overland in Burley. Yes, sirree, A Child's World, along with Ambulatory Surgery Center, and they are the sponsors of Cassia County School Days. Now, with us this morning, thanks to the lovely Debbie Critchfield that sets all this up for us, we have the vice principal of Burley High School, and his name is Andrew Ray. Andrew, are you there?
I am here. How you doing?
Well, just not too bad. How long have you been the vice principal of Burley High School?
So I worked for the district for 10 years, but in this position I've been here for 3 years.
Oh, my goodness. What does a vice principal do?
Well, I do a little bit of everything. I help kids with schedules and grades. I help with discipline. I evaluate teachers, work with parents, sports, student council. It's a mixed bag over here at Burley High School.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're very interested in your work, and we're going to be talking today about a Cassia Schools Job Fair. What is this? Give us a little explanation first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. So, nationwide, and I'm sure several of your viewers or your listeners have seen articles in the paper or whatnot about the teacher shortage that we're experiencing. And so the last couple of years, the district has sent me and others around the state of Idaho and the Boise State, ISU, and then also other states as well. We've been up to Montana, Utah, to try to recruit teachers to come to the Mini-Cassia area. And in 2 years, we've hired exactly 0 people from these job fairs. There's a lot of factors for that. Most people, they like being in bigger cities, so they like Boise, they like Salt Lake. The pay is sometimes an issue as well. Some of the surrounding states of Idaho pay a little bit better, so it's hard to get people that don't know our area or don't have a connection to Idaho to come to Idaho. Those of us that live here know how wonderful it is, but just trying to get those people from outside to come visit our state and want to work here. And so we're going to really focus this year, instead of recruiting outside of the Mini-Cassia area, we're going to really recruit hard and see if there's people in our local area that want to work for Cassia Schools.
I love the idea. I love the concept. And, I'm just going to kind of get off the beaten trail here for a second. This is great because it shows me that, A, there are jobs available for, B, people that want to work. I am sick and tired of hearing the old saying, well, I can't find a job. There's nothing out there. That is as bogus as a $3 bill. There are jobs available, aren't there, Andrew?
Absolutely. So as of Monday, I think we had 35 openings at several departments and schools across the district. And then on average, we are the largest employer in the county. We have anywhere between 100 to 150 openings every single year. So
wow.
It's somebody wants a job, they definitely can find it.
Well, tell us a little bit about the jobs themselves. I mean, they have a wide array from teachers to computer techs to food service people. Give us a little explanation on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I just pulled up the district website as I'm talking to you. There's 48 openings now, so we've just added 14 more just since Monday. So,
wow.
So there's openings. So, yeah, we're obviously, we know there's a teacher shortage. We want to get teachers in, but also our district is looking for all sorts of professionals. We just barely hired a journeyman plumber. We're looking for a journeyman electrician. We need people that help with our technology. We need support staff, teacher aides. We have a wide variety, of skills that we're looking for, education background, and just people. And bottom line is, we're looking for people that want to come be with kids and work in the schools.
Andrew, what about the jobs that are on this list here, like custodians, secretaries, computer techs, and others? What if they say, well, gee, I really don't know everything about that job? Do they have to know everything about that job?
No. I mean, that's what's great about Cassia County Schools is they do have some training programs and some mentoring programs. So as they get into some of these areas, they'll be job shadowed or they'll have, a 2-week training period. We have some classes that our para-educators take and a test that they pass to kind of help them get the basic skills. The district does a great job at supporting those that come in with the training that they need to get them where they would like them to be.
Okay. Now, we've kind of highlighted what the jobs are and the availabilities, et cetera. How and where are you going to have this job fair?
So we're gonna be meeting at Burley High School from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's going to be tomorrow, and we'll have signs directing people where to go. But we're anticipating a large group of people, and we're going to have some of our student council kids at Burley High School meet them at the door. They'll be able to direct them which department they want to go talk to or where they get their information and what they're looking for. We're going to have food. We'll have computers on there so they can fill out applications.
Okay.
So it'll be good.
Andrew, when you hear a moo of a cow on my program, it means that we've got a caller with a question. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air, please.
And Andrew and Zed both. This is Earl Worthen. Can you take junior high school students and high school students and put them in an apprentice program and teach them jobs to help fill some of these places that you're needing? And I'll get off the phone and listen to you.
All right. He's going to listen on the air. Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, so we actually just had a meeting a few weeks ago. Our district is mulling over a new technology initiative that they're rolling out, which is going to require several more devices, computers, infrastructure, things like that. And the idea was floated about creating a class that would take students that have a desire or the skills to be able to work on computers, and they would be able to help our IT staff in some situations, troubleshoot computers, fix viruses, different things like that. So, yeah, we're looking and exploring several different options to get kids involved and get them skills right here in high school.
Let me ask you something, Andrew, and I don't mean to be rude when I say this, but how old are you?
I am 32 years old.
Okay, 32. So basically, you can look back over your shoulder at the younger generation, and then you can look ahead to us old people like me, and you can see some of the transitions that have gone on in our country about education, jobs, and personal responsibility. I have maintained on this program for a long time, and you can tell me, even though I'm double your age, you can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think you will. We need right now in this country, I don't care if it's the Cassia County School District, I don't care if it's a school district in Chicago, we need to somehow revitalize the idea of people having personal responsibility and tell them about all the things that they can do in their life to achieve personal goals and have a successful life, and I don't think that we're doing that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I would agree with that. And again, with this job fair, we're looking for people that have that desire. And that was one thing I was going to tell you. Over the the last 2 years, we've hired 2 teachers locally here from the Mini-Cassia area. Neither of them, one of them did go into education but hadn't worked for 10 years as they were raising their kids. And the other one got a business degree and was running a local restaurant. And specifically, the individual that was running the restaurant looked at education, looked at kids nowadays and said, I can make a difference. I can impact kids. I can help them learn those responsibilities, those skills and things that he seemed to be lacking or appeared to be lacking in some of the students. And so he completely quit his job, probably paid double or maybe even more than what he made as a teacher, came to us and said, I want to teach. How do I get it done? And we were able to, in just a few months, get him the right paperwork, the right training, the classes, and everything to get him in the classroom. He's been teaching for 2 years now, and he has been a rock star teaching kids about skills, about responsibility, about life. And that's the people that we're looking for that want to come and make a difference in somebody's life.
You know, Andrew, I don't mean to beleaguer this fact, but I think another point needs to be made. A lot of it is the family habitat, if you will. And I think it's got to start at home. How are we going to get these kids enthused? How are we going to get the parents enthused? I mean, our whole society needs to be jump-started one more time over the fact that we're all self-reliant and we have to rely on ourselves to be successful. Somebody's not just going to hand that to you.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And honestly, that's one of the things that we grapple with on a daily basis as we see close to 1,000 kids coming to our, specifically Burley High School, through our doors. And unfortunately, there are just factors that we cannot control, but we can control what we do here at school and the things that we are teaching at school. I get it. You know, we teach them from 8 to 3. And then they go home, and it may be different at home. There may not be support. There may not be whatever. But our teachers and our staff are going to do everything they can to prepare that kid for what he might encounter when he turns 18 and becomes an adult.
Okay, now real quick, Andrew, if you would, give us all the particulars about that great big schools job fair tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's going to be tomorrow, March 10th, Friday at 5:30. Here at Burley High School. We're going to be here till about 7:30. We might even be a little later. We are going to have every department represented, from transportation, food services, special ed services, IT, maintenance. I mean, everybody's going to be here. Every school in the county is going to be represented, so close to 17 schools. Principals, district personnel will be here. There'll be information on salaries, benefits, job openings. We'll have, like I said earlier, a computer so people can actually fill out applications. And the bottom line is, we're calling this the Hiring Expo because I would like people to walk out of here with potential job offers right on the spot.
Absolutely.
If you have any desire or you just want more information, please come down. You can also email us at jobs@CassiaSchools.org, and we can get you all the information. And we really hope to see the great people of Cassia County and Mini-Cassia area come tomorrow to Burley High School and get some information.
You know, I like you because you've got a lot of enthusiasm in your voice, and I love the way you presented that. Vice Principal of Burley High School, Andrew Ray. You come back in the future. You're welcome here anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Cassia Schools Job Fair tomorrow, starting at 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Little Theater in the King Fine Arts Center. Don't miss it. Okay. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Oh, yeah, we got to talk about Scott Gano. Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. Are your trees looking like winter really dealt them a bad hand, monkey? Well, I would suggest that you call Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. Now is the time for getting all the trimming done, and it's time to get your fruit trees trimmed. Fruit trees trimmed. There you go. Let's try saying that fast 5 times. The FCC's listening. And don't forget, there's been a lot of tree and shrub damage with all the wind. And I'll tell you what, Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, they can also give you great ideas on landscaping to help keep the doggone water from going into your basement. Maybe this next year might happen again. Well, call them at 438-2485. That number again, 438-2485. Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. You call them today. As you know, there is a huge, and that means really big, Women's Expo coming up And it's going to be at the Burley Inn Convention Center on April 13th, Thursday, April 13th. Southern Idaho Women's Expo, sponsored by the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, Idaho Central Credit Union, and Idaho Housing and Finance. And you know what? It's going to be such a huge event and so many women there. You'd better call today if you're a business that wants a booth space, because they are going fast. What a great way to advertise and promote your business right there at the Southern Idaho Women's Expo. Number to call, 679-4793, 679-4793, and that's the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. You call them today, okay? Right now, we're going to get on the phone and say howdy, just like Minnie Pearl used to a good old boy. And he is the man in charge of the urgent cares. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care in Twin Falls, and Jerome Urgent Care over in Jerome. And a good friend of this program. Hello, Kyle James. How are you?
Howdy, Zeb. I'm good. How are you doing today?
Well, how could I be anything but great when you hear weather forecasts that we might get up to 60 on this weekend? It's fantabulous.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I just walked outside for a minute and looked around, and it's sunny, and I was in a short-sleeve shirt. Feels pretty good.
Well, now, don't get sick, because you'll have to go to the urgent care.
Yeah, I've got some connections there, I guess.
You know, if you were going to tell people in a short theme what you do and what you provide at the urgent cares, what would you tell people?
Well, we're mostly there for the unexpected. When people have an oops or an idiot moment and they think, oh, I'm the only one that's ever done this. No, in fact, they're usually not. And it's just for all the short time stuff, you know, the things that just come on so quick, the sinus infections, well, I'm not feeling too bad tonight, and you wake up in the morning and you go, wow, I feel like I just got ran over by a bus.
Uh-huh.
It's for those situations, and you can just walk right in and know you're getting good service and taken care of.
Now, people have asked me, they say, well, okay, you talk about the Riverview Urgent Care, Twin Falls Urgent Care, and Jerome Urgent Care, but what about the prices? How much is it going to cost? Can you give them some idea on that?
Yeah, that's actually one of the newest things that we've got this year. We've had such great support. We're just in the best communities with the best people on this planet, as far as I'm concerned, and we were able to renegotiate some rates this year, and we were able to significantly reduce a lot of rates clear across the board with insurance, and then also with those that don't have insurance, and so that was a pretty neat deal. Insurance, it still kind of varies with insurance companies, but most of the office visits are right around $135 is what gets billed to insurance, and they're pretty much picking up all of that, less just whatever the copay is. And then for our self-pays, our uninsureds, we've got a flat rate of just $79 for the office visit.
Wow. So you are definitely serving the Magic Valley at 3 locations. And what about the fact that somebody says, oh, I got the flu, or I cut myself, or I was pounding the nail and I missed and hit my hand? You can help anybody like that, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. We do every day, multiple times a day. Yeah, we've got the flu swabs and the strep tests and things like that. We can tell you right here in-house what's going on there. If you oops and cut yourself, we've got the tetanus shots. We've got the sewing kits. We'll sew you right back up and bandage you up and get you back to it. And we're quick. We don't like to take anybody's time. We know that's very valuable, and so we want you to get back to doing better things, especially when the weather's so nice and you got other things you want to do.
Well, my goodness sakes. Oh, and by the way, what about in-house lab and x-ray? I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are a couple of great services, and by far and large, our X-ray is huge. We have an in-house X-ray. We have a radiologist group that overreads the X-rays for us. They're quick. They're very thorough, good. We do the preliminaries right here in the office, so we can tell you a pretty good idea. But because they're not radiologists, they're just doctors, and and mid-levels, we don't want to step on their toes. We let them give us the final word, too. But we make sure we get you checked out. We find out what's going on under the skin because we can't always see that. And so it's always a good help when you come in and go, well, I wrecked my four-wheeler or I slipped on the ice or whatever it is, and you say, and something just hurts. I need to know what it is.
Okay. Or they can be people like you that stand outside when the weather's turning and transitioning and get a cold, right?
That's right. That's right.
Now, 3 locations.
My yearly sinus infection or strep throat, but the year's just beginning.
Okay. Now, 3 locations, and I want you to give the explicit address so they know where to go for minor emergencies, major care.
Absolutely. So out of the 3, our Burley location is out by Walmart at 382 North Overland Avenue. And the one in Twin Falls, we're on Addison Avenue. We're out by the Kmart. And the Jerome Clinic is on West Avenue A, and we're actually in the same building as the R&R Pharmacy.
There you go. I got to tell you, folks, I've known this family for a long time, and Kyle James, one of the nicest young gentlemen I've ever met in my life, and a great staff at all the locations, the urgent cares. Kyle James, God bless you, man. I appreciate you being on the program.
Hey, same here. We love being part of the community and serving those in the community. So anything we can do, that's what we love to do.
All right, go stand outside.
Oh, I definitely will. You do the same.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
Oh, there you go. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, Twin Falls Urgent Care, Twin Falls, Jerome Urgent Care in Jerome. Minor emergencies, major care. Nice people. Okay, now let's take a look here. What have I not done that needed to be done, that should have been done, and I forgot? Nothing. Holy smokes, I'm all caught up. Now, I got to bare my chest a little bit. I do not know a doggone thing about the guests I've got coming up in a couple of minutes because we had to make some major changes in a short period of time. I haven't had a chance to read their bios or anything. It's going to be called Flying by the Seat of Your Wranglers, this next segment. So right now we're going to send it over to Wheels, and I'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
We are on the home stretch. I'm telling you what, the jockeys have got the whips out and they're beating Secretariat to the finish line. Here we go. And I told you a few minutes ago, I have no idea what's going to happen this next segment because I haven't had time to do any of my study or kind of look over and peruse some of the information. A lovely lady by the name of C.J. Wheeler, I called. I said, hey, my guest can't show up this morning. Can you help me? And she said yes. And so while I'm on the air, I get this information, and I believe I'm going to say good morning to 2 people. First of all, Cliff Soseman and Urshel Metcalf. Are you there?
Morning. How you doing?
I am fantabulous. How are you? Who am I talking to first and foremost?
This is Cliff Soseman, Executive Director of Honor, Courage, Commitment.
All right.
And this is Urshel Metcalf, and I'm the Director of Operations here at Honor, Courage, Commitment.
Oh, my goodness. We've got 2 for the price of 1 this morning. Good morning, and nice to have you on the show. Now, it's Honor, Courage.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you very much. Honor, Courage, and Commitment. What does that mean? Kind of give us the basis of what we're talking about this morning.
So Honor, Courage, Commitment is a veteran empowerment organization. Still early for me. I haven't had that full cup of coffee yet. Veteran empowerment organization that is dedicated to empowering veterans in their next mission in life and doing that through education, mentorship, and community service. And what we do is we help veterans who are in that career transition phase, and we give them career counseling on how to go search for that next career versus just sending a blast email of resumes. And then we also, our main program is veteran entrepreneurship, and we train veterans to start, run, and have successful businesses in local communities that help grow local economies.
Wow. I think it's very, very needed, and I'd like to pursue this just a little bit more. Now, let me ask you this, and I believe that was Cliff, and now we're going to ask Urshel. A lot of these veterans, when they went in the service, they were basically young teenage kids. Maybe they stayed for their tour of duty. Maybe they signed up for another tour of duty. So basically, they really haven't been exposed to the real world as far as business is concerned. And they get out of the service, they come home, and I got to admit, they must be lost. Take it from there. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I tell you what, they feel lost a lot of times, and here's the reason why, is the battlefield for them has changed, but what we help them to understand that the principles and the rules of engagement are all the same. So they have the tools, they have the skills, but there's a bit of translation that needs to take place because they're used to waking up every day with an assigned purpose and a mission that is bigger than life, providing freedom to the greatest country in the world. And now they have to translate that mission accomplishment mentality into a bottom line profitability mentality. And so that's what we help, is to make that translation not only in their minds, but also in the way that they communicate that to potential employers or for people that they're going to need as far as starting and growing their business.
Wow. Okay, now, both of you can chime in on this. I would imagine, I'm just totally lost about how to ask questions about this subject because I don't know that much about it. But I would imagine that you're basically going to have to look at their personality and find out their drives and desires and kind of mold a person that's going to be able to go out in the business world and say, here I am, hire me.
Well, I don't think it's as complicated as that. We know that as a veteran, you have leadership ability, you've got leadership experience, and that's the number one thing employers are looking for. And so it's a real simple conversation because I'll meet some guys and they'll say, well, I was an infantryman, and there's not a whole lot of jobs for machine gunners, in the civilian world. And so now I'm stuck doing, X, Y, or Z. And they look at him and go, you were an infantryman, yes, but you were a leader. You were a leader of men. And that is what companies are looking for. And it's just giving them that basic knowledge of how to translate that and look at themselves in a different way. Look at themselves as veterans, a large majority of them are humble individuals that don't like to talk about themselves, don't like to talk about their service, don't like to talk about what they do or what they've done. But when you are looking for a career, the number one thing you have to do is be a salesman. When you are a business owner, the number one thing you have to do is be a salesman. And you have to learn to sell yourself. And it's just a very simple paradigm shift, I guess you could say, but it's not that difficult to get them to just be a little more young in their experiences. The shaping and molding, they've already been shaped, they've already been molded. They went from high school kids, men and women, to now somebody who's got this vast knowledge of experience in saving the free world.
Right.
So they've been shaped, they've been molded, and that's exactly what they need to go out and continue to save the free world, but do it economically versus, on a battlefield.
So basically, they already have, each of us have. I mean, I'm not just limiting it to our veteran soldiers, etc., but all of us have got some drive and desire in us and an inner self that says, boy, I'd like to do that, or I could excel at that. And what you're doing is just really helping them get a shout-out program and try to find them perhaps the right niche for them. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I mean, again, all of that's already built into them. So we don't instill passion. What we do is we enable it. We equip and empower them to be able to pursue their passions and those opportunities. After World War II, 49% of veterans came home and they started their own business. That number today is between 4 and 6%. And so a lot of things have changed. It's not just going back to the hometown. You know, people are moving back to different cities. People relocate. So there's a lot of reasons why there's that gap now. So all we're doing is just reinvesting a little bit in what our government has already invested, sometimes up to $500,000 in those veterans and their training. So we're adding an additional investment so that the rest of America can benefit from what's already been deposited in those veterans.
You know, let me ask about both of you, Cliff and Urshel. I mean, where did you come up with this idea? Where did you get the training for it? Give us a little bit about your backgrounds to where it led up to today helping other veterans.
Well, myself, I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps. I was in from 1992 to 98, and a good portion of my career, I was an embassy guard. So I got to put on my dress blues every day, look good, and be that face of America to people all around the world. When I got out of the military, there was something that was missing, and I didn't know what it was for a long time. It took about 7 years to really understand why was something missing. What I determined was I was no longer serving a purpose greater than myself, and I was no longer had that brotherhood and that sisterhood, that camaraderie around me every day. You know, when we're in the military, we work together, train together, play together, deploy together, fight together every day. And then you get out and you go back home, they go back home, and you no longer have that support network. So when I started getting involved in veterans things, that's when it clicked for me. I was like, holy cow, this is what I've missed. I've missed being around my brothers and sisters, and my mission and my why is to help them redefine their sense of purpose, and that's what defined my sense of purpose. It's not something that I opened a book and it came to me. It took many, many years to kind of figure that out through a long journey. And now every day when I get up, I'm driven to empower. And it is the most amazing thing in my life that I get to do every day. I have a wife and 2 kids, but I'll tell you what makes me whole is getting up every day and knowing that I'm going to help a veteran either find that next career, I'm going to help a veteran start a business, I'm going to help them grow their business, I'm going to help them expand their business.
Absolutely. All right.
Cliff and I are Marines, and I spent 13 years in the Marine Corps, and I got out and I did the same thing. I launched, a couple of businesses and had some success, but really found purpose in equipping other people and helping other veterans find that sense of purpose.
Well, let me ask you guys this. What's an average day in the life of Cliff and Urshel? I mean, tell us from the time you get to work, what do you do? What do you try to do? What do you try to accomplish?
I'll tell you, it's complete and utter joy is what it is. Every day is a spectacular day at HCC. Get into the office, get that first cup of joe, and it's answering emails from veterans, it's taking phone calls from veterans, it's planning programs. We're in the process right now of moving into a 7,000 square foot facility, which we hope in the next 7 weeks we'll be in, which is the first veteran business center in North Texas and the first one of its kind across the country. It's a business center, an incubator, and accelerator, and that's going to be a place where veteran businesses can come in and not only learn how to start and run a business, but where they can have that professional office space with everything you need, all the way from conference rooms, training rooms, office space, desk space, computers, printers, all the way down to the coffee. So be able to conduct business in a professional environment. That's what we're building right now, and right now that's what gets us going every day, and that's what keeps us pretty occupied.
All right, let me ask you this.
The real thing is we're connecting with veterans every day,
right,
and trying to connect them with opportunities. We're also consistently, daily growing our relationships with other nonprofits and other veteran service organizations and other organizations that help provide opportunities, because we know that we're not the end-all, be-it-all, but when we make that initial relationship and connection, then we also become a conduit to the other opportunities for the veterans to get them where they're going. And then the third thing is really connecting with people who can hear the vision of what we're doing and believe in investing in our veterans veteran community and connecting with them so they can assist, whether it's financially or helping us to promote things or doing things to invest in our veteran community.
Let me ask you, gentlemen, now, there's probably veterans listening to this program right now, whether they're in southern Idaho, Utah, Montana, doesn't make any difference where. What do they do? How can they benefit? How can they get a hold of you? What would you tell them how you can help them?
Well, the first thing we would say is go to our website, which is hccvet.org, hccvet.org. Go to that website and click around and look, and you'll see some of the programs that we offer. You'll see some stories from people who've been through the program. And then the next thing we want you to do is send us an email, or even better yet, pick up the phone and make a call, because we'd like to make that initial connection, find out where you are, what's going on with you, and what are you looking to do. And then that's where it all starts. It all starts with that introduction of that relationship. But the first thing is check us out on social media. You'll find us on Facebook at Honor, Courage, Commitment, Inc., our Twitter and our Instagram. We have all of that stuff out there. Go out there, take a look, and then reach out to us, and let's make a connection, and let's link up brothers in arms again and start doing some good stuff.
I absolutely salute the both of you, and I say thank you very much. Our veterans, in my opinion, I was not able to serve because of my legs being all busted up, but I'll tell you this much. I think our vets deserve, and now I think are getting much better appreciation by this great country of America with the change of administrations, and I think it's on an uptick for a better society for our veterans. Your thoughts on that last remark?
Well, I'll tell you.
Go ahead, Ursula. Go ahead.
One of the things that I tell people all the time, you can look at whatever ills and ails that our nation has. I can tell you that if you invest in the veteran community, we'll see all the ships in the harbor rise as things with veterans continue to increase and get better, because whatever those challenges are, guess what? We've already been there. We've already done that. We've learned that common adversity creates a common goal, and so the veteran community is best equipped to help all of America learn how to overcome every obstacle that's out there.
Absolutely. I want to thank Cliff and Urshel for being on the program on behalf of Honor, Courage, and Commitment. Gentlemen, thank you. I salute you, and please come back in the future. I'd like to hear more. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being on this morning. We truly appreciate you giving us the opportunity to talk for a moment, and we'd love to be back on soon.
All right, sir. Thank you very much to those gentlemen, Cliff Sosaman and Urshel Metcalf, and they are with Honor, Courage, and Commitment to our veterans. I just say God bless them. I really do, because I've said for a long time, and I stand behind it, our vets coming home, and the more we can do to help and enhance their situation, the better. Thank you very, very much. We've got to get a weather forecast on here, and then we'll take some phone calls. And the weather brought to you by Scarrows Meats with Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Oh, my, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. They are so doggone good. Yes, they are. Locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years. And I'm telling you, I just drool every time I think about that oven-ready marinated prime rib. It's so good. You're going to love it. Give them a call. Stop in. Scarrows Meats. Yep, they are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Now, with the world's best weather forecast, here's Gina.
Here's your weather forecast as we do get closer to the weekend, and I know everybody's getting tired of me saying this, but the flood warning has been extended through today and more than likely will be extended through this weekend. We still have a lot of snow out in the northern parts of the county, especially Minidoka and Lincoln counties, and with the temperature rising, we've got more snow melting. Here's what we've got for today. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 57. Tonight, cloudy and 42. Tomorrow, cloudy and 56. Partly cloudy for Friday night with a low of 32. Saturday, partly cloudy, 58. And looks like partly cloudy and 61 for Sunday. That is your weather forecast for Zep at the Rain.
Gina, great job, and hope you're feeling better. I understand she got clawed by the cat. over there at the radio station. Hand swelled up. They had to put her hand on a gurney, and it was the size of a basketball. I heard all kinds of things. Anyway, good luck to her. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Really, how big did her hand get over there, Wheels? I mean, did she really have to go along pushing a table underneath her right arm because her hand was too heavy to carry?
I didn't get to see that part, but I just know when I came in that morning that it swelled up quite a bit. But it seems like she's doing a lot better today, and also yesterday. She's kind of had a peppy attitude.
Well, she evidently learned something from that experience, and I guess maybe wouldn't you agree that the bottom line is when cats are fighting, let them fight.
That's very true. It's kind of like getting a pit bull and a Rottweiler to try to break up. That doesn't look very good.
No, when a cat's going to fight with another cat, I have never felt the urge, ever, nor will I ever again, knowing what happened to her, to reach in and try to be the referee.
That's very true. It's kind of like our animals give off this persona of being so cute and loving and stuff like that, and boy, do we only know the little bits of it.
Well, yeah, you don't walk up to a skunk and say, "Aren't you cute?"
Yeah, because guess what? You're going to get some of that nice yellow stuff all over.
Oh, you had to be so explicit. There you go. Anyway, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. We'll talk about anything you want for the next little bit on the program. I was asked during the news break if I would go ahead and tell you again about that Cassius Schools job fair. It is going to be tomorrow, Friday, March 10th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Little Theater in the King Fine Arts Center. And Cache County is looking for many, many job positions to be filled, all the way from secretaries to food service people, plumbers, electricians, etc. So that's going to be tomorrow night, Friday, March 10th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Little Theater in the King Fine Arts Center. They are looking for people to fill some jobs. Also, while I'm waiting, I just had this sent down to me by my friend John Hanyon with the governor, and the next Capital for a Day is going to be scheduled for just up the road at Hanson. I understand that Governor Butch Otter has announced that the Twin Falls County community of Hanson will be the next Capital for a Day, and it's going to be March 17th, so it'll be a week from tomorrow. And they're going to have various officials down to Hanson for the day. They're going to have Lieutenant Governor Brad Little, Department of Agriculture Director Celia Gould. They're going to have Director of Labor Ken Edmonds. Let's see who else is going to be there. Department of Insurance Director Dean Cameron. Well, my goodness sakes, all of this coming up on next Friday, March 17th at Hanson High School, and that's at 550 South Main in Hanson. Capital for a Day with Governor Butch Otter. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And while I have just a moment, I'll also tell you about a big spring tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, I love thinking spring. Let me see outside here for a minute. Woo! Looking good. Looking good. Yes, sir. Bring on the 60s, then the 70s. Anyway, at this big spring tire sale, all the tires for your cars, your pickups, your SUVs, you better get in there because they're on sale, like the Eclipse tire for your car. All-season traction, advanced tread design. Wow. Check it out today at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And remember, they have the best in brake service. That's not brag. That's a fact. The best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, but they always always have the best in service. Really taking care of you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. We have had an outstanding week of great guests, and boy, this next week's not going to be any different. We've got a real good bunch of folks coming on. One of them that I want to highlight a little bit right now is going to be at 10:30 on Monday. 10:30 on Monday, and that is the wonderful doctor from Atlanta, Georgia, Dr. Elena George. She has graciously been on our program at least a half a dozen times. And when Obamacare was coming down the pike, she really opened up all the whys and why nots to Obamacare. Very well read on what's happening. And she has had a chance to pick apart the American Health Care Act that the Republicans are pushing. And so we're going to find all about it on Monday at 10:30, so don't miss that. And hopefully we'll have some time to take some outside questions too, so tune in for that. I want to remind everybody that Monday through Thursday this program's on the air, and we take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. And I want to thank all my audience, all my listeners. A reminder that on the 16th, next week on Thursday, we will have Lunch Bunch at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant in Burley. Don't miss that. And I urge you to just have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself. I mean, hopefully, winter may be coming to a close. We'll get a little bit here and there, I'm sure, but hopefully winter's on the outside of the door, looking in for a long time. I'm sick of the snow. I know you are too. We want to say thanks to Wheels over at our main studios. He runs everything for us, and we absolutely are on K-Bar, 12:30 a.m., and then streaming live all over the universe on ZebBell.com. And by the way, too, don't forget my weekly blog, Cow Pies and Coffee Cups, and you can get on that blog and have it sent to you if you just get on ZebBell.com and make the various clicks, and we'll get you on the Cow Pies mailing list, if you will. So take care of that. And until Monday at 8:06, Zeb at the Ranch bidding you a very nice weekend. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. See you later.